right. Oh.
Yeah.
This is charged right now. Instagram fam, YouTube fam,
Hey.
Squali Walla. What is up?
I'm living the day.
It's your boy Mark, man.
I cannot stop. Look at my eyes.
So, I thought it'd be a good idea to jump on here. I want to try to do my best to have more opportunities to just kind of sit and talk with you guys and just run some ideas by you guys. Let's, fill you guys in on some of the blanks, like who I am, why I do this stuff, and like what it is I'm trying to do, and have a moment just to kind of connect with you guys, man, if I'm being completely honest with you, I feel like I am always on social media. You guys probably see me all the fucking time. I feel like those reels don't really do a good job of like breaking the third wall and actually letting me have an opportunity to kind of show you guys who I am. I feel like, I update my story and I feel like there's an opportunity into like the window, and you get to kind of see me, in the raw, if that, for lack of a better term. But those videos are about a minute long, so not much of an opportunity. So I'm hoping this will give us an opportunity to have more of a long form discussion and be able to sparse out some ideas and see what you guys think. Obviously, please don't be afraid to use the comment section to ask me questions, or just let me know what you're thinking, or maybe the direction of the next conversation. So that being said, I kind of wanted to start from the beginning, man. As you guys know, my name is Mark. Mark Daniel. I go by King Squali on social media, or my alias, so you could say. I am a 31-year-old artist from Chicago, primarily focused in hip hop and rap. I think my style overlaps with many genres, and especially nowadays, I'm doing my best to kind of explore that wheelhouse and try to bring more unique sounds to you guys. I started making music when I was 16. I'm 31 now, so I've been making music literally half my life. It's been a journey, man. It's been a journey, if I'm being completely honest with you. It's not always been easy, and it's if I'm being completely honest, making music is fun and I love it. The pursuit of making this a career is difficult. It's not easy, a lot of people can't get past the part where they even make the music. I feel like that part is easy for me. I thoroughly enjoy making music, but it wasn't always like that. It was like an accumulation, a buildup of different moments in my life that led to different realizations and different motivations. When I was a kid, I always wanted to do music. I was always inspired by music. I used to like sit in my room, and I would be supposed to be cleaning my room, and I would be listening to CDs and standing in front of the mirror and like rapping, pretending like it was me on stage and shit. They used to make me feel. I think that's where a lot of like my passion and drive for obtaining that dream comes from. It's something that I've wanted ever since I was little. And I feel like a big part of what I'm doing now in my late 20s and 30s, trying to make this a career, is I'm trying to live out a childhood dream. I feel like I owe it to my present self, owes it to my past self, and my future self. I feel like the child in me, the little Mark, still wants that. The future me is depending on it. And the present me realizes that it's time to get to it. At 31 years old, I don't necessarily have all the time in the world to make this happen. I should say I'll probably make music for the rest of my life because, like I said, it's something I love. But I definitely feel like now is the time to try to make this happen. That's why it's a lot of the reason why you see me on social media so much. I'm always posting the reels. I'm trying to drop a song a month. I'm trying to stay in the mix and stay connected to this thing in a way that like allows me to pursue it in in full force. You know, I don't want to have to. I don't like being halfway because I feel like it makes me feel guilty, you know, to myself, like where I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you know, you again, you owe this to yourself. Like, go get it, man. You know. You know, like I said, it wasn't making the music wasn't always easy. You know, as a young artist trying to figure out how to navigate this shit, learning how to rap and learning how to write songs and rhyme and create rhyme schemes and all these different things. There's so much doubt. There was so much doubt, you know, along the way. Where like you're doubting yourself, you're questioning like if this is a good path to follow. Am I on the right? Is this the right thing to do? Like, what's gonna happen in the future? Am I gonna be able to make a career out of this? Blah 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 blah. You know, there's so many thoughts. Like, is this good even? You know, is this good? Am I getting better? You know, and there was so many conversations. Like even when I started making music with like me and my friends, where I'm like, man, I don't know, like that, like this feeling of not really getting anywhere with it, and feeling like one, I wanted it, but I'm not getting anywhere, and two, that you know what it really came down to, I guess, now that I'm older and I could see like this in retrospect, is like I wanted something that I wasn't really ready for at the moment, you know, and I feel like and I'm just being honest, you know what I'm saying, like as much as I was, because I was making music, you know, all throughout my teens and 20s, not as consistent, but I was making music, and it never made the splash that I feel like I wanted it to, and you know, it led to a lot of questions and a lot of doubt of like, what am I doing? Why is this not working? Am I on the right path? Is this good? And it was very, like, demoralizing. I would beat myself up a lot. And the reason I feel like I'm even telling you guys this is because I want to relate to the person out there that makes music or that creates art that feels this way. Because I want to tell you that it's not always like that. It's not always like that. You know, it is a process. Now, it wasn't until there was a point in time where I was creating music, and then I got into a relationship, and everything stopped. I got into a relationship, everything, you know, came to a screeching halt. A lot of different things, you know, distractions. The people I was making music with, I feel like things weren't so smooth anymore. It left me in a place where, like, I really didn't want to make music. I decided, like, you know what, this isn't working. I gotta go figure something else out, man. And, you know, I started going to school. I went back to college. I took a couple courses. I did these kind of things. And then I realized I don't really want to do this either. Like, I don't know. And it left me in a place where, like, I didn't really understand what direction I wanted to go to. That led to a lot of distractions. Drugs, drinking, partying. I didn't have my head and my heart set on anything, and I didn't know what to do or which way to head. And you know, the thing about being creative is that, like, no matter what you decide to move on and whatever, there's that part of you, that child version of yourself that's telling you, like, yo, what about this? Like, what happened to this? You know. Like, do we want to give up on that? Like, even if even though I felt like, yeah, I'm gonna go try these other things, deep down in my subconscious and in my heart and in my mind, I still wanted to pursue music. I just felt so tired and demoralized from the pursuit of it that I didn't have a lot of energy for it, and it led me to these other things. And one day, and I kind of almost like remember it like very vividly, like I was sitting in my room, I was laying on my bed here, and I was listening to music on my phone, watching like music videos, and I stumbled across this this song that I had heard a while back, and it's this video, and I wish I could remember the name of the song. I'll try to find it, and I'll put a link to it up here somewhere. But essentially, what I'm saying is, I ended up I'm laying on my bed, I stumbled across the video again, and I finally had like an opportunity to like sit with it. And I remember listening to the song and watching the video, and it made such a profound impact on me that that in that moment I had like this epiphany and this realization that hit me so hard. It wasn't just like a thought in my head where like, oh, this is just an idea that just popped up in there and it's there and it's gone. It was like a profound moment of clarity, realization, epiphany. I don't know if you've ever had an epiphany. Have you ever just had somebody say something maybe in a way that you've always known but never been able to articulate, and when you hear it, it makes you feel a certain way, gets you like feeling something, your heart starts racing type shit, something clicks in your head and you're just sitting there laughing at yourself like, why did I never like say, like, how is it I never like been able to understand this feeling that I have like this ever before? To make a long story short, I basically realized in that moment, I am tripping fucking balls, dude. I am tripping balls because up to that moment, all of my effort and pursuit has been gone into the pursuit of this music thing. I had, from my teenage years up until that point, that I had basically spent countless hours and days working on music, learning how to write, learning how to rhyme, learning my style, learning how to record, learning how to audio engineer, learning how to do all these things up to that point that I basically wasn't really counting for anything. And I sat there and I started laughing to myself because I realized in that moment like how profound like music is and how I want to be able to do that, what happened there in that moment, for other people. I want people to hear me and be so inspired in that moment that they realize like I need to pursue my calling. You know, like I felt like in that moment I understood that this is my calling. Like this is what I'm here for. My whole life has been basically summed up to this point around music. When I was a kid, I used to play guitar. I did jazz bands and music. I literally my whole life had revolved around music. And I realized like I'm tripping, man, because I have everything behind this. I have a catalog and effort and time and energy that I've put behind this. And if I just let this go in this moment, I would have let that all gone to waste. Even my monetary investments like speakers and microphones and fucking software, like everything would have just gone to waste. Like why would I, and I'm sitting there and I'm laughing at myself like, why would I do that to myself? Why would I put myself so far behind when I'm like so far ahead? And I realized like I'm tripping. These emotions that I'm feeling, I need to get over that because on the other side of those things are my dreams. On the other side of that doubt is greatness. On the other side of that doubt is self-discovery. You know, another thing that I realized about this is that like that self-doubt is a part of the creative process. It's almost like it's almost like when you zoom out, each part of this thing that is music can be summed up to the same exact process. The same process that you do when you sit here and you create music is the same process of emotions and effort that you're gonna feel when you do something outside of making music, like promoting your music or creating a video or you're gonna have the moment when you try, the moment of inspiration, the moment of trial, the moment of failure, the moment of error, the moment of self-doubt, the moment of stepping away, the moment of stepping back. The stepping away is important. That moment where you say, okay, let me just step away and give myself the rest of the night to think about this, and I'm gonna come back tomorrow. And that next day when you come back and you pursue it again, those are the moments you get past it. Those are the moments you get past it and you prove to yourself, not just in your efforts, but in the physical proof of the art that you're capable. And those are metaphors for your next pursuit, the bigger pursuit outside of music, like promoting your music or making a video. It's the same exact process. The self-doubt is a part of the process. It's a part of the learning. It's a part of the self-discovery. And I learned that. I started to understand that, embody it to where I just understand that there's always going to be a moment of self-doubt, but you can't pay too much attention to it. You always have to step forward, because on the other side of that, time and time again, I've proven to myself that that's just a little emotion thought that doesn't really matter, and you don't have to live there, and you don't have to pay too much attention to it. You have to try again and prove to yourself that you're capable. Because in those efforts of trial and error, when you fucking do it again and you get past it, you prove to yourself every time that you're capable. That builds confidence. That builds tons of confidence. And you need as many of those little wins as possible. So, yeah. So that being said, you know, I do this for a lot of different reasons, man. I love music. I love making music. I feel like there's nothing that gives me the feeling of music. And it's something that's super special to me, and I try to stay honest to it, you know? Even at this point in my life, even though I'm pursuing music as a career, if nothing comes out of this as a career, I'm happy I live my life this way. I'm happy I live my life experimenting in self-discovery and sound, in creativity, learning about music, learning about marketing, learning about audio engineering, learning about videos, learning about editing, learning about marketing, ads, whatever the fuck, you know? I'm happy I'm learning that shit. It doesn't need to amount to anything necessarily. I thoroughly enjoy the process of going through it and learning and trying, and that's fun to me. It's exciting. The music is honestly the easy part. And when you get past all the self-doubt and you just let yourself create, you'll understand that that's the easy part. That's the part we all want to do in our free time, you know? So don't get in your own way. Just fucking do it, and don't think twice about the sound, about what it's going to get you, about if it's going to make you money. You just got to enjoy the fact that you're sitting here doing it, and it has to be that has to be it. If you don't enjoy this is what you want to do with your, that's fine. You could go do something else, and you got to find that thing that gives you that feeling. But you know, for the sake of this video, I guess I will leave it there. I want to do another video where we talk about maybe the sacrifices that need to be made, you know, for pursuing this, or the sacrifices that I'm personally making, or that I've made to do this, you know. But maybe we'll just save that for another day, another conversation. But that being said, man, I'll leave it there. I love you guys. Furrow Troop, drippy drip. Keep going, keep growing, man. Keep pursuing your dreams, y'all. Keep chasing those dreams. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself. And move forward. That's all I got for you today. I love y'all, Furrow Troop, drippy drip. Keep going, keep growing, baby. Mark Daniel out. Yes, sir.